Window to the unique planet of Iceland.
A trip to Iceland is like rocketing off to a different planet. Iceland is scattered with thundering waterfalls, belching volcanoes, and warm bathwater that never gets cold. It's filled with the most unusual landscapes, both inside or outside this planet. I must admit, I had a hard time figuring out the thumbnail for this video. There are so many descriptions that work really well for Iceland. These are just a few of the ideas that came to mind.
Trip to another planet. Where can I find the little prince? Iceland undone. How to do Iceland. Adventures on steroids. No roads lead to Iceland. Iceland, weird, raw, and wonderful. Waterfalls scattered throughout the country. Nature on steroids. Experience thrills and radical adventures. Soak in its science, art, and ancient cultures. Or play golf inside a dormant volcano crater. And of course, see Iceland really up close.
You'll find venues in Iceland that occur no other place on Earth.
In this video, I'm laying out for you a different way to understand Iceland. It'll help you get the big picture of Iceland, plus be entertained by a lot of close-up details. Disneyland is divided into different lands. You know, Adventureland, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland. We can do the same with Iceland. The only thing is that they're broken up and scattered all over the island. The categories are Glacierland, Aurora Borealand, False Land. We can't really call this a land because it's all about the water adventures there. You'll see what I mean. One of the most fascinating things to me was what I call Thunder Underland. When we were in Iceland, we ended our 6-day tour at a volcano that had recently erupted. We missed it by only a few days. Let's visit Glacierland first. Just think how your friends will be impressed when you come back from Iceland and tell them you hiked a glacier. The glacier hike was part of our tour. I'll tell you about that tour later. We had to pick our way through this glacier runoff of rivers. They are a lot deeper and wider than they look here. There are about 269 named glaciers in Iceland. Oh, look, there's another one in the distance. I was surprised to see that this adventure is available year-round. I'm impressed that you get to ride in a converted NATO missile launcher. Experience what it's like to be inside the bowels of a glacier. Well, that's better than being inside of a whale. The huge Longjökull Glacier is northeast of Reykjavik. Glaciers cover about 10 or 11% of Iceland's landmass. When we were there in mid-September, the northern lights, or Aurora Borealis, were not scheduled to show up. Of course, it's not possible to schedule the lights to turn on, but it just happened, and we set our clocks for 4 a.m. to get up and watch them. Photographing these wily creatures can be tricky. Learn how to photograph the northern lights as well as many, many other fascinating things about Iceland. At the Perlan Museum. Come a few days early to Iceland so that you can see all the things that Reykjavik has to offer. An entire day can be spent here. But don't worry, there's plenty of food for you to eat. There's a restaurant, cafe, and a bar. I would be tempted to eat here every day because the prices are fantastic. Pause the video to soak in this menu. I'm hungry right now. I missed the Perlan last time. That's one of the reasons I have to go back to Iceland. Entrance tickets are very reasonable, but if you order them online, they are even cheaper. We went to this Aurora Reykjavik, and it has good reviews, but I wish we could have gone to the Perlan first. As a heads up, this one costs over $30 to get in. There are many companies that offer Northern Lights tours. This is just one of them. We were lucky to see them in September when we did. But if you miss them, just remember that you can see an excellent simulated presentation at the Perlan Museum. Waterfalls are included on every general tour. Suppose there would be a beauty pageant for waterfalls. This is what the categories would look like. Most beautiful, the most beautiful from behind. That's okay for waterfalls, isn't it? The tallest, the widest, very important for waterfall aficionados. And the very popular, most powerful. Oh, but let's not leave out the most impressive two-tier drop. Here are the winners, but that might change next week. The most beautiful fall in Iceland? You gotta be kidding. Just close your eyes and pick one. climb the stairs to view it from the top. But I just hung around the bottom to take pictures. They're all beautiful, even this little one. It's in a little town called Kefragurthi. That's only about a 30-minute bus ride from Reykjavik. Hike to the Seljalandsfoss from the parking lot below, and you can walk behind the falls. It's an easy hike, but you're sure to get wet. Bring a raincoat or at least a garbage bag. Morsafoss gets the vote for being the tallest at 228 meters or 748 feet. But as glaciers melt, the award may be given to another fall. It's very difficult to reach because you have to hike over a moving glacier. Hoynfosser gets the nod for being the widest. It stretches out over 900 meters. That's nearly 3,000 feet. Dettifloss seems Sorry, it's hard not to say floss. But Dentifoss seems to get the most votes for being the most powerful or thunderous. Here are some of my creative landscape portraits. Feel free to use them for prints to hang on your walls. If you have only scheduled a few days, and that's a big mistake, for your visit to Iceland, you'll want to at least go around the Golden Circle. The tour company you select is most likely going to include Gullfoss. It's a two-tiered waterfall that thunders through a lava canyon. Of course, this beauty pageant is up to individual preference. Let me know in the comments which waterfall you enjoyed the most when you visited Iceland, or which one have you marked for your bucket list for sure. Waterfalls are beautiful to look at, but also listen to them. Just close your eyes and hear the unique noise that each one of them makes. Just listen and enjoy. There are two oceans that surround Iceland. One of them is the North Atlantic Ocean, and the other is the Arctic Ocean. The ring road pretty much hugs the coast in the approximate 800 miles that surround the island. The black sands of Reynisfjara Beach is one of the favorite stops for tours. There is a famous warning of never turn your back on the water because it's famous for sneaking up to you with a huge wave. It is said that the basalt rock formations on this beach are the inspiration for the architecture of the Hallgrímskirkja in Reykjavik. Ever seen a mini iceberg? This is what it looks like. But the one that snagged the Titanic was a little larger. I really enjoyed this Iceland water feature. The Glacier Lagoon is usually included on the longer tours. However, you can get a day tour that goes out there. Another grand water adventure of our 6-day tour was whale watching. I was amazed that so many side trips were included. I wish we would have had time while we were there in Husavik to go to the Moon Museum. Astronauts tested in that area in 1965 to 1967 because it's so much like the surface of the moon. I found some delicious homemade soup in a little cafe nearby. Iceland is famous for its geothermal spas. Mývatn is the most famous hot springs in the Blue Lagoon. But if you just want a great hot springs experience, go to where the locals go. Check Guide to Iceland or take a hike. One of my favorite not land photos. And this one's another. Maybe it's the strong red and blue primary colors that are attracting me. There is a lot of thunder under in Greenland. Not to be confused with thunder down under. That's an entirely different thing. Everywhere you go, there is steam coming out of the ground. You'd think that any moment Iceland would be blown apart. Have you ever read The Little Prince? This book has been translated into over 500 languages. Here's the little prince standing on his unusual planet. I was wondering if the author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry ever visited Iceland. After all, he was a pilot and got around a lot. I immediately thought of the little prince when I stepped off the van in the Namathjal geothermal area. There he is, overlooking his tiny planet. And there are several other illustrations that look just like Iceland. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. This is a mud pot, and this is a fumarole, and this is a cloud. Most tour companies that travel the Golden Circle will have a stop at the Stroker Geyser. Here's a photo tip. Don't stand at the top where all the other people are standing. You'll be too close when the geyser gushes. All you'll get is a blast of white. That's every 5 to 10 minutes. Icelanders make very good use of this geothermal activity that comes up from under the ground. They not only use it to heat their homes, but also to grow most of the produce in greenhouses that are scattered around the island. Catch a farm tour to see how they do it inside. Now, why is that so funny? The whole island is seismic. Think volcanoes, think Iceland. Iceland has approximately 130 volcanoes, and 30 of those are active systems. There are tickets for just about every perilous adventure in Iceland. You can even go deep, deep, deep inside a dormant volcano. Ooh! This is how close I got to a lava flow from a volcano that had erupted a few days earlier. Imagine this as being bright, glowing red and oozing out of the crater top. After it cools, it kind of looks like cow poop. Oh, one of my pictures shows that I got even closer. Love horses? The Icelandic horse is one of the purest breeds in the world. It was brought to Iceland by the Vikings, and they don't allow any other breeds in. These horses are small but sturdy, and might I add, very beautiful. If you've seen a photo that you like, there's probably a tour for it. Oh yes, I love this one. I want to book it next time. There are so many places to visit on the 1,000 in and out miles that traces the outline of Iceland. To cover it nicely, a tour company will probably take about at least 6 days. We went with Tour Radar, who contracted with Arctic Adventures for our tour. We were able to hit so many of the hot spots around Iceland. Take in this beautiful country visually by seeing my portrait landscapes later on. We had a wonderful Icelandic driver who told us a lot of fun stories, but also gave us a lot of great information. See Iceland Up Close, and you can't get much closer than this. The shorter tour is the Golden Circle Tour. I wonder if they designed that to look like a whale on purpose. I do not recommend driving a rental car. You won't see as much and you won't learn as much. How long of a stay, do you ask? I recommend 7 to 10 days at least. Besides soaking in the hot springs, please stop to soak in some of the history and culture of this wonderful island. The National Gallery of Iceland did not disappoint. I really must report on a room that held the works of Guðmundur Thordarson. They looked like landscapes to me until I saw this one. Now, go back and study the first one, then take a stab at this one. This artist offers us a fun challenge as well as fascinating art. Unwind by taking a stroll along the shore of Reykjavik. And you too can unwind at home by taking my scenic tour of Iceland. In Iceland, there's something for everyone, especially photographers. Well, there you go. I've shown you a handful of Iceland. I was so happy to be able to bring this video to you. It caused all those memories to erupt in me of the wonderful time I had in Iceland. I invite you to subscribe. After all, it doesn't cost a thing.